Welcome to another edition of the Nightly Nuge. And Ted, just as I promised last night, we're going to talk about the fox in the hen house. You're not going to believe this. I know you already know it, but our listeners are not going to believe this. Canada's Justin Trudeau just approved a $6.8 million contract for a company to provide security in all 170 foreign Canadian embassies. And who got the contract, you ask? A state-owned Chinese company will be providing the security. How, Ted, can that be? Is that not the fox in the hen house? What's your take?
Well, you know, I'm fondling some mystical flights of the gold tip arrows here because I need relief from this kind of insanity. Our friends in Canada, I love my buddies in Canada. I got so many hunting buddies in Canada, rock and roll buddies in Canada. Rush are my buddies and so many great bands up there. And they are just bewildered that their prime minister is actually hiring communist Chinese, the enemies of humankind, in a role of security in the great nation of Canada. So we can go on and on and on about this, but remember, that's right across the border. We're already horrified by what's going on our southern border. We should be equally horrified what's going on across our northern border. Justin Trudeau is a punk. He's a tyrannical dictator, human-destroying, freedom-hating punk. You know, I helped my Canadian friends get rid of the horrendous draconian C-68 gun law where farmers were put in jail because the government wrote down the wrong serial number on their goose gun. I mean, that sounds so outrageous, and I've got the proof and the evidence that shows that. And that's the kind of jackbooted thuggery that now our FBI is turning into, the IRS is turning into, the CDC, the FDA, the USDA, and of course my favorite drag queen, the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Mark Milley. We have our work cut out for us here in America, but we should help our friends to the north as much as we can. And by the way, I constantly condemn the tyranny and the slavery of the great men and women, the great families of Mexico. I have great Mexican friends. My bass player, Marco Mendoza, was born in Mexico. This guy, I have great friends from all around the world, and they are heart shattered at the abusive power and the tyrannical control of the Mexican government, thug, gangster, cartel, military, law enforcement. They're all in one big gang, and now it's going on in Canada. You saw what happened to the truckers who were just trying to have a peaceful protest, and Justin Trudeau's gangster, thug, law enforcement punks came in, and they were the violent ones. They were the ones who were creating terrorism. And now we have the same thing going on in America with the FBI and the IRS. These are tough times, so I'm going to say it again. Voting in numbers that will make a difference is the answer here in America and in Canada. I mean, the Prime Minister, I think that's the designation in Alberta, refuses Justin Trudeau's AR-15 ban. He said, I'm not banning a general in-use firearm that has not been the source of any problems, any crime, any illegal behavior, when in fact you arrest a guy that does use various firearms, then you let him out. What do you think he might do again? So I'm kind of ranting on because ranting is one of my specialties. But every word I just said has iron, and nobody will debate it because the evidence is irrefutable unless you have your head so far up your ass that daylight is a rarity. So huntthevote.org. I don't know what they're doing in Canada, but here in America, we have huntthevote.org. And we need to circle the conservative wagons and vote in numbers that will scare the hell out of Satan and his followers in the Democrat and the Republican parties.
Huntthevote.org. When you get there, make sure you sign the pledge, because Ted and I know if you sign the pledge, you're good for your word. You will register. You will vote. Huntthevote.org. Very powerful, Ted. Tomorrow night, I'm very sad to tell you what we're going to talk about. The Fox and the Hen House Part 2, right here in America. See you tomorrow night for another Nightly Nuge where there's absolutely no fake news.